Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to Fury versus Whyte on That's Football Tonight, which becomes That's Boxing. I hope you're all doing very well. Very much looking forward to this. We like a bit of boxing. We do like a bit of boxing. The last one we did was Fury versus Wilder at about 4 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it? Late 2021. And this is going to be a cracker. This is going to be an absolute cracker. This is at Wembley in London town, and it's Fury against Whyte. And look, you know what? I think that you've got to say that Tyson is the favourite, but Whyte's got a punch on him. And I am going to go Fury. I'll say straight away Fury in round 6, but that's my prediction. You can get yours in, and 88% of you are saying Fury. He is the big favourite here. But is this to be his last fight? Is this going to be Fury's last fight? And is he as motivated as he was against Wilder in that three-way fight that they had? Not three-way fight, the trilogy of fights that they had. I think there is a danger. I honestly do think there's a danger. I think that the amazing thing is, from watching boxing from a very young age, I remember the game. Who remembers having the game on the Mega Drive? James Buster Douglas knocked Tyson out, and that's basic. Two claims to fame, really. Knocked Mike Tyson out, and had a Mega Drive game made for him, and that was basically the end of that. So when you get to heavyweight boxing, which is what we're dealing with here, you've always got a puncher's chance. And we saw in that fight with Wilder and Fury last year that Fury was all over him, and then Wilder threw a punch, and it rocked Fury for a bit. So there is that opportunity. There is that opportunity there, definitely, which makes it interesting. But a few things I want to talk about before. Ring walk should be about 10 o'clock. So, yeah, we should be that for that. Formula 1 tomorrow, Dazza, yes. I think the race tomorrow is at 2 o'clock. Merseyside derby after that. So, busy weekend on That's Football. Make sure you subscribe and get involved below. But I do want to just dwell on the Fury fight for a moment and say, do you think this is going to be his last fight? Because I think that's something I don't want to see. I don't want this to be his last fight, to be honest with you. I do want him to carry on. I think there are some good fights that he can have out there. But he said, he wants to retire, Morecambe Bay, living his life, doesn't want it after this, not interested in it after this. This is going to be his last fight. Lots of boxers say that, but I hope not. I hope it's not going to be the end of Tyson Fury, because you know what? I've never really been weight specific with boxing. People are always quite surprised when I'm into boxing. I don't really watch UFC. I like Conor McGregor, but I don't really watch it. Boxing origins for me is my family was always quite into boxing, and as you can tell from my build, it's not really my sort of thing. But I watched it and I liked it. And Saturday night, funnily enough, I quite like the timing of this fight tonight, because it's a Saturday night fight in the UK. That's what boxing's always been to me. If you're of a certain age, you'll remember Saturday nights, 9 o'clock, Eubank, Ben, who else? Watson as well, Collins. Used to get a lot of good super middleweight boxing matches on ITV, like used to get the Champions League. So I sort of grew up on that, and I like a good boxing event. And I think Fury's very watchable. I think his style's very watchable. He can take a punch. I mean, he almost fused boxing with WWE, didn't he, that time when Wilder knocked him out and he just sat up like the Undertaker. So yeah, there's something about Fury he's a good watch, and I hope that he's going to carry on. But obviously, if he wants to retire, it's up to him. It's a committed sport, isn't it? And I hope he's going to carry on, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, I mean, if he loses, he'll definitely have a rematch, I would have thought. I don't think he'd retire losing. I think he will win. I think he's got... My only concern with Fury is, and I don't even know if it's a concern, just speaking to a couple of people who know a lot more than me, is that the only danger in this fight is that he's a little bit complacent. And not that he hasn't put the effort in, because I think he's a professional boxer and he will have put the effort in. But I suppose it's a bit like Manchester United, isn't it? They train all week, but are they mentally there on a Saturday? And when you're Tyson Fury and you're fighting in America against Wilder, and there's a lot on it, and some people don't think you can do it, and you do it. Is it the same as being the favourite? When you're the favourite, sometimes it can be a little bit different. So he is the favourite, and he's got to deal with that. 10 o'clock is around the time it's going to start. Let us know in the chat what you're thinking about it. AJ at Old Trafford would be a good finale for Fury, says Dane Grayson. I do spare a thought for Anthony Joshua a little bit tonight, because I think that when you look at this fight, this should have been him. It should have been AJ against Fury, and he sort of blew it in his last fight himself, didn't he? And he sort of got locked up in having to deal with that sort of thing. Again, I think Fury would beat AJ, but you'd give AJ a puncher's chance, wouldn't you? So there you go. Where can I get that jumper from? Sneakenergy.com. Please use the code SneakBridge. They're not sponsoring us. I just thought it contrasted quite nice with the set that Draughty's done. Although I keep thinking that's a bag of crisps. It looks like a bag of salt and vinegar crisps that I want to just dip my hands in, but it's actually the belt. So yes, 12-round decision. I hope we get 12 rounds. I'd quite like a 12 rounds. I'm going to stick firm with six round for Fury. Mark, did you watch the Contender Series as a kid? Also, Fury is a United fan, says Ralph Ranick. And Danny, thank you very much for your super chats. He says, after that great performance by Jesus, what does City do with him? He's played well the last couple of years. What's to talk about Man City on a boxing stream? Never going to happen, Danny, but I think Pep said that he's a Man City player and we'll see what happens. Does the F1 clash with the Derby tomorrow? No. I think the Derby kicks off at R4 and the racing starts at 2, so it'll be fine. Fury in the 5th round, says Harrison. Mark, please, what is your opinion on chocolate hobnobs, says Jack Graham. Love them. Love them. I actually prefer plain hobnobs more, but yeah, I do like them. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to 655,000. Everybody's welcome on this channel. It is called That's Football because mainly we do football watch-alongs. We'll be doing Everton, Liverpool tomorrow. But we do other things. Boxing. We've done the Super Bowl this year. We do Formula 1 on here. So big events we tend to do on here as well. Fury in 9, says The Real Links. Fury in 7, says Joshua Betty. And Mark just replied to me, I feel like a celeb, says Oren. Don't feel like a celeb. I try and reply to a lot of people. The fight's at 10. I think we just refreshed a little bit there. Of all the nights, please hold up internet because it's just dropped out a little bit there. So just refresh. So 88% of you are going with Fury to win this fight tonight. It's crazy actually because I do a lot of streaming and it never drops out, and then tonight it decides to start pissing about. But then again, I don't normally stream after this time at night, so there we go. It dropped. I saw it drop. Sorry about that. Let me just check the stats. Yeah, it's all right. It just literally dropped. It'll be fine. If the Sidemen invited you to play in their charity match, would you? Says Flaming Groy. I'd love to. I'd love to play at a charity match. I'm running out of opportunities to do it. I've not been invited to do Soccer Aid again, which is their loss. But I'm getting to that age now where I've probably only got. I'm really past my best anyway. Fury in the 4th, says Demooch, and Fury in 8. I think Whyte will get a knockdown though, says Glenn. Yeah, well that's the thing about Fury. He can take a punch. I don't know. The thing I love about boxing is that you just don't know. There is an opportunity there. I love the boxing. I mean, look, the last one we did, Fury and Wilder, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, God, that's ridiculous. But then you get up and you're watching it and the event, and it's just amazing. And I could have been at this. I could have been at this fight. And I mean, I'm looking at it now on the telly. London Town on a Saturday night at Wembley. It's absolutely rammed. I think it's like over 80,000 capacity. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? And yeah, there'll be some parties in London tonight. So that's Molly May. She goes out with his brother or his half brother. Anyway, this boxing match, I think it's got the last round. Fury in 4 is going to bamboozle and bop his noodle, says Ryan Morgan. Thanks for the super chats. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Actually, it's over 90,000, says Lucas, capacity. Yes, of course, because it'll be the stadium and the pitch as well. So there's 94,000 people here at Wembley, which is amazing. I hope they get a good fight. I really do. I hope they do. Fury in 6, says Arnie Smith. That's what I'm going for as well. I'm honestly so scared that Risky's talking about football. Tyson is going to be a dad again, says Johnny M. And Whyte's going to do him on points, says Matt Bond. Anybody fancy Whyte for the fights? I'll be fair and say that he's not an amateur. I mean, he's not an amateur anyway, but he's not somebody who can't hit somebody. You know, he can do some damage. It's all over in 3. And do you think Varane might end up as a bad purchase due to injuries? Cancer 992. No, I don't. When does it start? Says Richard Murray. And Joe Robinson fancies Whyte. I think it's going to be... there's a fight now, which is in round 12 of 12, which is obviously going to go to a points decision. So that's probably going to be messing around for about 20 minutes more. And yeah, around 10 o'clock was when they said the ring walks would be. So we'll probably be boxing by about 10:15, half 10, I think. Yeah. I think Whyte edges Fury on ability to put on out damage, says Joe Robinson. There you go. I'm a Fury fan, but I like Whyte. I think he beats Fury, says Anto. There we go. Good. I want Fury to win. I think Fury will win, but I do want to see a good fight. 100%. Fury's going to pick him apart, but I hope it isn't that way. I want to see a war, says Dance. And yeah, look, I think so much of this fight comes down to how Fury approaches it, how focused Fury is. Because I think when he's focused, I think he's the best. He's the best, you know. I don't think there's anybody you can't beat, but we'll see. I am doing a watch along for the F1 tomorrow, Oren. We'll be live just before 2 p.m. tomorrow for that, so tune in for that. And it's going to be a lot closer than people think, says Chrissy. And best Rocky movie, says Alpha Gaming. I'm gonna get absolute pouters here. The best Rocky movie is Rocky 4 for me because I love the soundtrack. It's arguably the worst. I think the first Rocky is what the purists like. Rocky 2 is one of the best sequels. I actually quite like Rocky 3. Rocky 5's dreadful. I like Rocky 4 because I was only probably about 10 when I watched it. And I love the soundtrack. It's just very glitz and glamour, isn't it? But it's probably not that good. I haven't watched it for years. Whyte did get KO'd by a 40-year-old last year. Fury in 5, says Danny. And the ring walk has to be 10:10 latest because of the curfews they've got at Wembley, says Ralph Ranick. There you go. There you go. They've got to get that done. Thoughts on YouTube boxing? I've mellowed in relation to YouTube boxing, but again, I think it surprises people that I like boxing, but I'm not a fan of violence. I can't stand violence, but boxing is a professional sport to me, and I know you get all the pantomime, and sometimes it's not pantomime of the build up to the fight, but it is a professional sport and it's a talent. And when I used to play football at quite a decent level, pre-season wasn't just getting ready. We used to, on a Wednesday night we used to go into the local boxing gym to get our fitness up. Oh my god, half the team would be throwing up. The fitness, these training camps when you're doing bloody press ups and having medicine balls thrown at you and how hard they work you, it's such an athletic sport as well as a powerful sport. So when I see YouTuber boxing, I'm just like, I think it takes the piss out of something it's a bit like, we were just talking about there, a charity football match ain't Premier League football, and YouTube boxing ain't boxing for me. I think enjoy it as an event, but these people who start saying, wow, they do trademark and it is close to the real thing, I don't think we've ever seen a proper boxer unleashed on a YouTube boxer, and if we did, it would be over very, very quickly. But there's a lot of money in it. Who will win? The Ed Matthews or Simon, says Matthew Gervais. And what song do you think Tyson will sing after the win, Mark, says Pure Scott. Fury in 7, says Pom. And Scooby-Doo wishes Tyson Fury for a win, says King. And I think Fury could get caught out by Whyte's left hand. There is always that possibility. So this fight's just about to end. I haven't watched it, so I've got no idea who's going to win between these two. But it will lead in. It's going to start about 10 o'clock YUFC. And yeah. Dylan Whyte is going to win by knockout, says Tony Bliss. And best sport in the world apart from football, says Zach. And Fury... Oh dear. Let's get rid of that. Mark Fury's going to win. Well, look, on the poll, we've had nearly 8,000 votes, which is amazing because we haven't got 8,000 people watching. We've got 6,000 people watching. So we've had 8,000 votes. And... I mean, this is big. We do like to do polls on this channel. Fury, 88%. To Whyte, 12%. So that shows you the enormity of the challenge that Whyte has got here. I can't show you the fight. I don't actually have exclusive rights to the fight. It's a watch along, but we will keep you updated. Please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and smash a like on the video and share. Who are you wanting to win? Says Gaming Charlie. I like Fury. I do like Fury. I think one of the things I like about Fury is the redemption arc. I've said this before. I really, there's a series that I watch which is very hard to watch in the UK called Yellowstone. It's got Kevin Costner in it. There's also Game of Thrones, which I'm sure many of you heard of, and I like complex characters. I like the battle between good and evil, but I also like the fact that some good people can do bad things and some bad people still have some good in them. It's almost, the older you get, the more you realise that life isn't two paths of good and evil. There's people merge in between. And I think Tyson Fury has shown that path. You know, he's made some really bad decisions in his life and come back from them. And I like, that's just life, it says MD, exactly. And I think we do live in a world, call it a snowflake society, whatever, where, you know, people act like they've not farted in a lift. And I just think everybody's got mistakes and things that they've done. And I think Tyson Fury's been quite open about that. So I think, I like the story. I like the realness of it. And I like the vulnerability of it as well. So, yeah, I hope he wins. But I haven't got any problem with Whyte. I just think it's a bit like your favourite football team, isn't it? I do like Fury as a boxer. I think he's I think the style of box is important as well. I mean, for me, growing up, my favourite thing, I didn't really watch many heavyweight fights. I don't remember many heavyweight fights that I enjoyed. I mean, I remember watching Lennox Lewis and even Bruno, but the best fights I remember were always the super middleweight ones. And now maybe that's because they were on ITV, but you know, Ben against Eubank. I remember Ben against McClellan. It's one of the best fights I've ever seen. Now, unfortunately, that ended up with McClellan getting brain damage, but that was one of the best. I don't know whether you'd even be able to have it now. I mean, Ben was basically knocked through the ropes in the first couple of rounds. It was an amazing fight, and I think the style of boxer has always been the thing for me. It's not necessarily how good you are; it's the style of boxer. And I like Fury's style. I just think he's a very watchable fighter. So yeah, I liked Lennox Lewis. Yes, Joe Calzaghe was fantastic. Yes, he was again a good fighter, somebody that you wanted to watch. I used to quite like Prince Naseem for a bit. He was a bit of a novelty. He's very good. Don't know where happened to him actually. Look at this though. Look at Wembley, all lit up. It's going to be a cracker. It's going to be a cracking atmosphere anyway. Mike Tyson is the best for me, but I like Ali, says Declan. Yeah, I didn't really watch a lot of Mike Tyson, to be honest. When's the fight? It's going to be about 10 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah, I think Faris makes a good point as well. They're both heavyweights, so everything can happen. And what that means is they're heavy. They're big. So if Whyte lands a punch on Tyson, he can basically knock him out because he's powerful, which is what I was talking about Mike Tyson. That happened to Tyson against James Buster Douglas in the early 90s. He got caught and he got knocked out and he lost his title. And James Buster Douglas released the Mega Drive game and then lost his title and was never heard from again. Mike in his prime, 86 to 88, the best ever. The great thing about Mike Tyson was the fact that he was not particularly big, and to dominate the heavyweight arena when you're not particularly tall just shows what a good boxer and how powerful he was. They've not walked out yet. We're just waiting for that. I'll get my old headphones on when they start walking out. Do I think it'll go the whole way, says Velox? I'd love it to go the whole way, but I'm actually going to go Fury in round 6, which is a difficult round to predict because sometimes you think, well, it's going to be over quite fast. But you know, I know there's a lot of people like UFC, a lot of people like football, a lot of people like Formula One, snooker, whatever. This night tonight in boxing is one of those. It's a bit like Wilder Fury as well. It's not. I actually don't think this is anywhere near as big as the Wilder fight, but it's still a big night in boxing, and you don't get many of them. And yeah, it's really it's got that atmosphere. It's at Wembley. I think we should see more fights like this at Wembley. When you can get 94,000 people at Wembley we should be having more of this. We should be having more events like this on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock because, you know, I know there's a lot of money when you do it in America, but England in a friendly don't pack out Wembley. So you get 94,000 people at Wembley to watch a boxing fight, which isn't even a star. It's a good fight, but it's not like you could get better fights than this. Samuel says Jake Paul's the GOAT. I'd love to see Fury against Jake Paul and Fury actually go for him 100%. That wouldn't last 10 seconds. Hope you're well. Sorry to bring you down. My grandma has got dementia. Thank you for all you do. Best YouTuber. Always makes me laugh. Wish you the best, says Isaac Shaw. Sorry to hear that about your grandma, Isaac, and glad you enjoy the show. What's your thoughts on Tommy Fury, says Dynamite. I've not really watched him, really. I know more about what he did on Love Island than what he's done in the ring, to be honest. Zed Jamie says it's a big fight, but £25 is robbery. To be honest with you, Zed Jamie, I never even thought about it like that. The price you have to pay for these fights, the money they make from it. Gatti versus Ward first fight was hands down my favourite fight. The movie Fighter was supposed to end on that fight, but Gatti passed away before release, says Chris Mitchell. It's a very good film, actually. The Fighter. Really enjoyed that. R says I would be shocked if Whyte wins. Would you? Well, yeah, 100%. I think you have got to acknowledge the fact that if Whyte was to win this, it would be a big shock. I mean, in the vote, 88% of you are going with Fury. So yeah, Whyte winning it would be a shock, but I wouldn't rule it out. And I don't think you can rule it out. So I think Fury is the favourite, and I think there is I wouldn't go 88% chance. I think that might be a little bit much. I'd certainly go I'd say there's a good 80% chance that Fury wins this, but I'd give a 20% chance for Whyte that there's a puncher's chance in this. And as I said, I think a lot of it comes down to whether Whyte's mentality and Fury's mentality, which is actually consistent across most high-level sports. How everybody I've spoken to about this week, about this fight, has said the only concern with Fury with this is not his own personal mentality, is just that he's the favourite. And you go through anything. You can go back to 88, Liverpool against Wimbledon at Wembley. Liverpool were the dominant favourites. Wimbledon had no chance and they won 1-0. So that's the only concern that Fury's got here. He is in the favourite corner, and underdogs can sometimes win. That's the only concern here. I want to see Fury versus AJ, but that will probably not happen now, says Alpha Gaming. Well, I think AJ blew that chance, didn't he? And ultimately, I wanted to see that fight as well. But I don't know what everybody else feels, but I just feel that that's not on Fury. Fury's gone and won against Wilder. He's put himself in this situation as the champion. And unfortunately, AJ has promised a lot, but not been able to deliver that fight. I don't think that's anything Fury needs to do. In many ways, if Fury fought AJ, he'd be doing him a favour. He's not logically the contender at the moment. Ali was the best boxer in 3 divisions. He's the Ali, was dominant in large parts of 3 decades. He's the best. Mike Tyson was good, but would have liked to have seen him go for a few more years, says Brandon Fairbanks. Yeah. Well, keep up what you're doing. Make a million smile a day, says David McGrath. I don't know about millions. A few hundred, maybe. AJ versus Wilder would be good, says Russ. Yeah, I actually agree. I think that would be a good fight. I actually just think that... Well, look, we don't need to talk about Wilder against Fury, but I actually do think that Wilder just handled those fights wrong. I think that they should have had more respect for each other. Because I think that Wilder's a good fighter. Here we go. We're coming out. Oh my God. I didn't know Whyte used the Jaws music. Right, I definitely don't want him to win now. I'm doing a Jaws watch-along on Thursday night on Twitch. I hate the music. Even in the Midlands, in my dining room, I'm shitting myself. A shark's going to come through the door. I hate it. I hate the music. I hate Jaws. I just hate the music. And yeah, I'm listening to the music. Somebody take my mind off it. Here he comes. Whyte. That's more like it. I like this music a little bit more. Mark's having flashbacks. Yeah, a shark's coming, Mark, says Arcade. Yeah, I am actually doing a watch-along for Jaws on Amazon Prime through Twitch on Thursday night after the Chelsea game. So if you want to tune in for that, that's going to be funny. I am doing an F1 watch-along tomorrow as well. I live in Sinclair. And would you get involved in a charity boxing match? Says Pete. I've not had any offers for a couple of years, but hand on heart, I did get a couple of offers about. What was the YouTube beef years? About 2017? Yeah, there was a few offers then. I was just like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Europa League watch along. Fury in 3, man's on a different level, says Shep. Well, yeah, Whyte's just coming out to the ring here at the moment. Getting ready. Please smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. It's Tyson Fury against Whyte at Wembley in London town. 94,000 capacity. Proper boxing fight this. Proper good thing. Jim White, yellow tie, Audi driver, says Sam. Kulisevsky versus Mark. Mark the Shark, says Jonas. I tell you what, if I was doing boxing, I wouldn't come out to Jaws. I'd shit myself. I'd be running off down into London. Get me out of here. Don't like it. If it went, what is even the point of this fight? Says Wesley. Well, it's for the world title, mate. That's the point of the fight. So, yeah, there is a point to it. Crypto comes out with a good point. He says if they fought this 100 times, how many times would he win? I think 98 Fury. I think that's always a good thing. I wouldn't do 100 fights. I'd do 10. If they fought 10 times, I think Fury would win 8 times, maybe even 9. So yeah, you're probably right with 88% of you going with that. Yeah, they're fighting for a lot of money and the WBC title. So it's there is a point to this fight, definitely. Yeah. But boxing's not for everybody. Some people don't like it. That's up to you. Don't watch it. No one's forcing you to. $12 rounds, I believe. Normally 12 rounds. And I'm going for Fury in 6. This is on in BT box office in the UK. You'll have to pay for it if you want it. I'm sure people will find other ways, but I will keep you updated with what's going on. Why don't you wrestle a shark or Aquaman in that game you fought Deitch, says Gok. Good point. Will you wish my... Jason Simpson says, will you wish my dad a happy birthday? Happy birthday to your dad, Jason. I can't pronounce the name. Sunshine Gary Neville versus Goldbridge, says Noel. And Goldbridge could take out Fury in the first round, says Just Creeps. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure people would love to see me in the ring with Tyson Fury. It would be a quest of how quick I can run around without being hit. And I would run. Because imagine being whacked around the face by Tyson Fury. Mark, I always wondered, are you a materialistic person, to Sharath Math Fitness? No, not at all, really. I mean, I do like nice food and I do like nice clothes, but I don't really go out on a quest for it. I'm not that money motivated, really. I'm more motivated by enjoyment. Yes. Simple things. He's coming out to American Pie. Here comes Tyson. Solskjaer versus Goldbridge. People saying Whyte has done nothing to deserve this. Don't watch boxing. He's fought mandatories for years, says Luke. Oh yeah, absolutely, Luke. Whyte deserves this fight. You know, that's how they do it, innit? You know, it's a mandatory fight, innit? So you know he does deserve it. Yeah, I'm not into that. Fury says he's retiring after this fight, whether he wins or loses, says Sir Lewis Hamilton's #1 fan. Yeah, I think that is the story, isn't it? He's adamant that he's retiring after this fight. which is a shame because I don't think Tyson Fury should be retiring after this fight. He's only, what, 33. So I think he's got another 5 years at the top, to be honest. Whyte himself is 34 and older. He's not going to be retiring. Anthony Joshua is himself 32. So I don't really think that Fury should be retiring at 33. But you know what? It's not about what I think. Is it? But I don't personally think he will retire. Welcome to the Members Club, Taurus. I don't think he'll retire. But you got to take him on his word. Would you unblock me on Twitter? Says Chicho. I might be able to just do that for you now. See if it works. Yeah, so it could be a long night or it could be a short night. It depends on how long the actual fight lasts. You're done? Yeah, mate, you're undone. Don't do anything naughty again. You won't get blocked. Simple as that. I'd love it if we got 10,000 watching, so please do share the video. You can click the share button below, share it on your Twitter and Facebook, and smash a like. We are getting close to the start of this fight now. We're just waiting for Fury to come out. A bit of music playing. Whyte's already in the ring. So we're probably about 5-10 minutes away from start. Ring walks are happening right now. I'm just here to see Tyson sing again, says Sean Atwood. And Sean Dyke's reaction to the fight. Well, obviously I love to be there. Oh, he said reaction. Okay. Whyte is going to either win or lose. Says Vin. You're a genius, mate. Can you come on the show? I am doing the F1 tomorrow, 2 o'clock start, so we'll be live for that. And I'm doing the Merseyside derby as well. Although Man City are looking good. Man City looking good for that title. Fury in the first, says Jamie. I really hope. I mean, I want Fury to win, but I really, I think. Are you like this as a boxing fan? Even if you've got a favourite to win, I never want it to be done in the first round. Like, even in the big fights like Wilder and Fury, where I really desperately wanted Fury to win, I never want them to be done in the first round. I know some people do. They're like, no, I just want my fighter to win. He can knock him out whenever he likes. The sooner the better. But I like it to go a bit of distance. Oh, that's what she said. No, but I do. So Fury in 6. I don't want it to be over any time before the 6th round, to be honest with you. But as I say, we're looking at Fury there now, and it all comes just down to the mentality of Fury. How set and ready is he for this fight? Because you can guarantee that Whyte's ready. He knows. He knows he's the underdog. He knows it's the biggest fight of his career. 94,000 people at Wembley. If he can land a punch and knock Fury down, his career is orbit. It's in orbit, isn't it? Fury in 6, says Lucas. That's what I've gone with as well. And Fury will want to go out in style, not on points. And who do you predict for the Formula 1 tomorrow? Probably go Verstappen, Noel. Red Bull seems to have found a bit of pace, which puts them back as favourites for me. As a neutral, yeah, but really supporting and want your fighter to win. You want him to get that power punch to land the knockout, says Tillen. No, I'm not a neutral. I want Fury to win. I'd just like it to go longer than round 1. There's 94,000 people there. It's in London. You want a good fight. You want a good spectacle. He's coming out. He's coming out. The Gypsy King is on his way. Callum says he kind of wants Whyte to win. No problem with that. We're going to end the poll because it's been stuck on 88%. So 88% of you think that Fury is going to win. How does Gary Barlow feel about this? Well, I'll be honest with you, Mark. I'm absolutely terrified. I just do not like boxing. One time, Mark Owen smacked me in the mouth accidentally. And I tell you what, I was in A&E for 20 hours. I thought that was the end. I'd lost 2 teeth. But it's absolutely incredible to see Wembley with 94,000 people in it. And I remember... Anyway, goodbye, Gary. Fury is Poundland Conor McGregor. How does that work, Ryan? Kings of Leon. I like that song. Red Bull are fast, says Lorcan. I watched the sprint race. I did watch the sprint race today. I was meant to be doing a watch along for it. I'm glad I didn't. It was quite a bit of a procession, really. But it was good between Verstappen and Ferrari. Leclerc. Here he comes for the ring. Tyson Fury in the town at Wembley. He looks up for it. He looks focused. The only thing I always think about boxing, and I suppose UFC to a certain extent as well, is how long. If you're a professional footballer, in the main, you play on Saturday and you're playing again on Wednesday. It's a very quick turnaround mentally. But as a boxer, you work for months for this fight. And if you mess it up, you're waiting months again, aren't you? Have you ever done boxing, Goldie? Love you. I tell you what, it's a very good question from Willie. Welcome to Members Club, Glen Oates. I've done a bit of sparring. I've done a lot of boxing physical training because I used to do it for football because the stamina is brilliant. But no, I've never been in a fight. I'd be angry if I paid good money to watch this fight and it finishes in the first round. Fury to win in the 6th, says Aidan. A lot of people going for Fury in the 6th. I'm going for Fury in the 6th as well. Let us know in the chat what round you're going for. Tyson's here. He's come in. It's a long wait for Whyte. He's been in the ring about 10 minutes. Jogging to the ring as well. I wouldn't do that. I'd walk. I don't know what... I tell you what, I've got to put my hands up here and say that I've not taken any notice of the pre-match, pre-fight talk or anything like that. Do they get on? Is there respect there? If anyone in the chat wants to tell us about that. Obviously, Wilder and Fury was very different, but Whyte and Fury, I've not really took a lot of attention to it, to be honest. Which is, I think, is good because you don't need the whole "I hate you" or "your mum this" or that. It's like you don't need that. It's a professional sport, and there's a lot of respect. Says Kershard. Good. There is respect. Good. I actually prefer it when there is respect because it respects the sport. Professional boxing is a professional sport. And I think you could put two people against each other and who like each other and go at it properly. Respect, Mark. There's respect there. Good. Brandon says they slept together, so they're pretty respectful. Yeah, I don't need to know that, and they definitely didn't. Randy says, Mark, I put on a pair of gloves once. It was snowing outside. I tell you what, I respect the sport. You know, I've never done it, but I do respect it, and I know people who do it. I think it's an incredible thing to put a couple of boxing gloves on and get in a ring and have a fight, a professional fight. You know, it's very different from doing it outside on Broad Street in Birmingham after 4 pints. I've seen a few of them. It's not true they slept together, no. God. All sort of starting now. Thanks for that, chat. Who do I think is going to win? I'm going Fury in 6. Round 6, I'm going to go with Fury. We've got nearly 10,000 watching, which is fantastic. And make sure you subscribe and get involved. I think hopefully this is going to be good. Apparently it's his last fight. Apparently he's going to retire come what may. Come what may. Come what may. I'm retiring. If I lose, I'm going to retire. That was rubbish. They're not quite ready yet. They're still having the chat about their weight and where they come from and their records and all that jazz. But I'm not going to be showing the fight. No, can't show the fight. Do you think Mercedes will be back? Says Anne. I don't know. We'll talk about that tomorrow. The judges, hopefully they won't come into it. We've got an Italian judge, a Canadian judge, and a Mexican judge. Avoid the Canadian judge. If they're anything to the Canadian code is for FIFA, stay away from that, Fury. I've had fights, yeah. Oh, I'm not getting into all this. I've not had a boxing fight, no. It's going to start in the next couple of minutes. I don't think he will retire, or he say he will, but that makes the fight with Joshua even bigger if he returns, says Jack. The thing about boxing is, and just before this fight starts, Fury has said that this is his last fight, he's going to retire. The thing about boxing is, if he wins, he is the world's best boxer, and he's retiring. They never stay retired, because somebody will say, in the next, I mean, even if he retires for 2 years, he's still only 35 in 2 years' time. Somebody will go, here's a load of money, come to America and fight him. And in 2 years' time, he might be like, you know what, I fancy it. So I don't think he'll stay retired. He might retire for a bit, but I don't think he'll stay retired. Hey, Jazz here. Can't wait for you to start doing watch-alongs too, says Cognac. I think he says MMA. I thought he said Mamma Mia for a minute. So yeah, I think he will retire, but I don't think he'll stay retired. Because, I mean, if he was 38, I mean, that's a great question. What's the average age a heavyweight boxer retires? Because we've seen Holyfield, Foreman fighting in their 40s and their 50s. It's on BT Box Office, Mark Holder. It's not on BT Sport. So, he's 33. He could box for another 10 years. If you think about the way Fury boxes as well, I could imagine him boxing at 42. He's not a fast boxer, is he? He's not an athletic boxer in the way that he's agile. He's a you know, I think he could go. I think he's got another 5 or 6 years in it. Can't wait for the Jaws watch along, says Bruce Wayne. Yep, Thursday. Check that out on Twitch. Zach says it's 36, but in terms of big champions, it's actually 32. So there you go. Thanks for that, Zach. It's younger than I thought. He's really fast for a heavyweight, says Gary Finnegan. When's the Jaws watch along, says AMK? Thursday. I'm so annoyed with BT, I can't bring myself to give them more money, so I'm going to enjoy your coverage instead. Great end to a bad day, says Nick P. Well, I'll give you all the updates I can. We're about to go here. They're in the middle of the ring. They've not took their T-shirts off yet. Oh, I love it. Love it. You can't beat this. When is Usyk against Joshua as well? I think that's going to be a cracking fight. I didn't do the watch along for that last year, but Usyk against Joshua was fantastic. Obviously, he's Ukrainian, so with everything going on with that, I think that's caused the delay. Not sponsored by Playboy Lay, no. Anyway, the T-shirts are off. The bell's going to go. Ding, ding. Round 1. We're almost ready. Are you ready for this? The crowd is roaring. Imagine what that crowd sounds like as well. 94,000. 94,000. Here we go. I love it. I love it. All the talk, all the hype. And here we go. He's got his, yeah, you know what as well, when you look at Tyson Fury, he has got very mobile legs. For somebody who's so big, he's got very agile legs, hasn't he? But they're just feeling each other out here. Not like that, but they are just sort of throwing little jabs. No one's landed anything yet. Yeah, it's at Wembley. Come on, Tyson, says Sam. McCunian Crackers just said it. I did think it. He said chicken legs, but they're very lean, Tyson Fury's legs, which gives him that speed for such a big man. Was he about 6 foot? It's about 6'8", isn't he? Something like that. They are fighting now, yes. They're just sort of feeling each other out here. A few jabs. Nothing hitting. Over halfway through the round one here. There's certainly respect there at the start. No one's throwing any big punches. Fury's just landed a shot there. So quick. I'm going Fury in round 6, yeah. What? Whyte in the middle and Fury just moving around him at the moment. Big difference in size. Yeah, definitely coming into the fight, you knew that as well. Fury was going to be quicker on his feet, and Whyte's just getting stuck in the middle at the moment. He's trying to throw a punch there. It's quite poor. Fury's just caught Whyte on the jaw. And again, just jabbing a couple in there. He's probably going to get round 1 here straight away. But a little bit more proactive than Whyte from Fury. A little more in control. Underdog. Looks confident. Next fight should be Deitch versus Burnley, says Jack. There we go, round 1. Fury for me. It's like Ronaldo versus Messi in a boxing ring, says Sir Nigel Farage. Well, I don't think you'd put Whyte in Messi's category, but yeah, steady first round. Couple of jabs, couple of lands by Fury on Whyte. Nothing really landed from Whyte, so you'd give that to Fury as an opener. One 0 to Fury. Yeah, I agree with you there. Sean Higgins. Respect from Ukraine. I think he means by height difference as well, says the GOAT. It was equal in my opinion, says Rabbit. Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was domineering by Fury, but I'm just saying, whoa, what do you think? Round 1. I'd give it to Fury just about, but he got a couple through on the jaw, but nothing massive. I don't think Whyte did anything in that round that would lead to anything else. Here we go, round 2. Well, it's interesting that they're both changing the style as well. Southpaw orthodox. Here we go. There's one. Hi Mark, just got back from a day rave and was sick all over my bed. Hope you're okay. I've saved you a pill, says Keith. Okay. United. Yeah, we're not talking about United. Southpaw from Whyte is a good move, says Baggy Boy. Yeah, he's gone back to orthodox now though. And Fury's alternating between Southpaw and orthodox as well. Whyte threw a punch there and completely missed. Yeah, commentators just said it there. I think the first round was a bit slow. You'd expect that, but Whyte can't just continue that for the next few. He's got to start being more proactive. And what does that mean? That means he's got to go more on the front foot. He's got to get his feet moving quicker, and he's got to try and start landing a few punches on Fury, because at the moment Fury's sort of dictating the pace. It is a bit like a Brighton against a Man City, where Man City are just dominating the possession and playing around a little bit. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. That's what she said. It's a hard thing, though, because he is the dominant favourite, Fury. And you want Whyte to have a go, but again, Fury just landing a few punches on Whyte. Nothing major yet, but he's landing a few. People that think Ronaldo's better than Messi, Peter Hodgkins. Well, we're not doing that. Here we go. A little bit of a messing about on the ring, on the ropes. Whyte's just landed 1, 2. Fury's happy if it goes 12 round. It suits him, says Sir Nigel Farage. Well, I think this is going to be another 30 seconds left round 2. I'd give this to Fury. He's definitely dictating. Without anything big landing, he's definitely dictating the pace here. And again, finds one through. And again. Oh, he's got him on the ropes, but nothing there. And the round 2, again, I'd give that to Fury. I don't know what everyone in the chat thinks. 100% Fury so far, says Max. I think, whilst it is end of round 2, what I would say is that I think we'd all be in agreement that if Whyte's going to win this, he's got to land something big. He's got to shook Fury. And he's just not been able to do that yet. But he's got to try and land something big. He tries there. Just showing a replay there. He tries to land something on him, misses. But Fury at the moment is just catching him every now and again. And that will just acquire the points to give Fury another round. City 2 points off Liverpool's goal difference. United goal difference equals 2 Palace, says Jack. Okay. Whyte's too slow, says Joshua. He does need to quicken it up. Fury in 6. We're looking all right at the moment. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We've got the Formula 1 race at 2 o'clock tomorrow, UK time. And we're doing the Everton-Liverpool Merseyside derby. I think it's 4:30 tomorrow as well. So lots to get involved with on the channel. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Anyway, we start round 3 here. Same tempo again. Whyte taking up that position in the centre of the ring. And Fury doing the movement. Just jabbing in and out. Oh, here we go. On the ropes. Nothing through. Keeps trying to push Fury into the ropes and land a swing, but they're a bit wild. Some of Whyte's throat punches are a bit wild. He's not even looking at them as he throws it. And there's Fury just bopping a little bit. Lennox or Fury, says Andrew. Now that would be a fight. Lennox Lewis against Fury. I think it's so hard. I want to say Lennox, but it's so hard to... It's like when people say, you know, a current Man City side against Chelsea 05. It's so difficult to predict what would happen. Yeah, so a few people in the chat are saying Fury in 4. I mean, it's not really got going yet, but I sort of see what you mean. I think that it feels like Fury's in control without really landing anything major. But if he lands something major, you feel it could be over quite quickly. But what boxing fight isn't going to be like that? 12 rounds, but I don't know whether we'll see 12. Tommy Fury versus Tyson Fury, says Jack. Well, that wouldn't be much of a fight, would it? Thiago or Bruno, says Kingsbury. Well, Thiago at the moment, mate. Are there no points for body shots, says Sharath Kamath Fitness? These rounds are just going a bit too quick for me at the moment. He's very much in control, yes. Fury is very much in control here. If you're not watching it physically, just coming up to the end of round 3 here, and Fury is just jabbing away, tiring Whyte out. He's not hit anything big yet, but he is in control. And Whyte's very much like the underdog here. There's round 3. He's enjoying it, says Joshua David. He's enjoying this fight. Yeah, I think Whyte's... I'm just looking at Whyte and he's like... I think he's tired. He looks like the underdog. doesn't look like at the moment he's in control. Doesn't look like he's got many gears to go through. And I suppose that's the best example I would give you. I think Whyte is on the edge. I think he's putting everything into it, and you can see he's going to visibly get more tired. Whereas I think with Fury, he's got more to give. Tyson Fury or Chicken Nuggets says Oz. And my mate Kian can't stop. Okay, we're not going to read that out, Peter. No need for anything like that. It's fine margins, says Thailand. Well, it is fine margins. You're absolutely spot on, and I wouldn't rule Whyte out. But we were saying before the fight, if Whyte's going to win, he's going to have to land something big. And once the fight starts, people I think forget that. But it's going to take a big hit to change the course of this fight. And at the moment, we're not seeing that from. Oh, he's come out a bit quicker here though. Whyte came in a bit fast there, but back to normal now. Although Fury's just landed a good shot on him there. My favourite Rocky film is Rocky IV, Jack. Fury's not happy there. Yeah, Fury's really angry there. He's caught him on the break. So Fury and Whyte having a bit of a set to here. Big. I like the ref there. He gets in. He says, no, none of that. So they were breaking up off the ropes, and Fury sort of caught Tyson on the head, which is a bit of a cheap shot. He didn't like it. Referee's just calmed him down a bit. I think it might play into Whyte's hands a little bit, because I think Fury will be on the front foot now, and he'll be a bit pissed off. But the game, the fight is starting to speed up a little bit now in round 4. Still 2 minutes to go. Mika says he's a bit flat-footed here. Jack says, Mark, you in the ring versus Wilder or Octagon versus Khabib? Yeah, either way, I'm getting killed. Who from Man United would you like to see in the ring with Tyson, says Ivor? Yeah. Mark, do you think Fury should fight Ben Whyte if he beats Whyte? Some weird chat tonight. Well, Fury's getting frustrated here. Whyte's grabbing hold of him a lot. There's a lot of sort of wrestling going on. No choke slams or tombstones, but it's just a bit like grabbing on the ropes, slowing the fight down. There we go, Fury, another good one. I don't think Whyte's got close to winning a round yet. But maybe that's not the plan. Maybe the plan is just to land that shot. Mark, what do you think about Bruno Guimaraes at Newcastle? Pritesh, I said a couple of months ago, on paper, he's one of the best midfielders in Europe statistically before he came to Newcastle. Seems to be doing quite a good job. 40 seconds left in round 4. Oh, he's in a bit of trouble here, Whyte. He's cut him. Cut to the right eye. Oh, they're throwing punches. Naughty punches there against the ropes. They're throwing some silly punches here. Back to the corners. Referee saying you're a professional boxer, act professional. They're throwing little punches on each other when they're tied up on the ropes. Mark, who do you reckon has a more sustainable... What are you talking about, Joe? I don't know what's going on with some of the super chats tonight. I'm going to start not reading them in a minute. Yeah, Whyte's got a cut above his right eye. Oh, body punch there from Whyte. I mean, what I would say is the more scrappy it becomes in relation to... It's not a very good fight at the moment. Probably plays into DILLIAN Whyte's favour. Well, I tell you what, it's bubbling up quite nicely, because as much as there's respect out the ring, I think they're actually crossing the line a little bit. It's getting a bit tasty. Mike Tyson would destroy Tyson Fury. He's so slow, says Sean Atwood. Well, Mike Tyson's a very different type of heavyweight boxer, isn't he? Four rounds to Fury as far as I'm concerned there. If you could interview any current sportsman or woman, says Grace, probably Ronaldo. Boxing has turned into the WWE, fake fighters and rigged matches, says Tommy. And Mike Tyson's the greatest, most exciting fighter ever, says Harvey. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. We've got 14,000 tuned in for this. Really enjoying it. Still a long way to go potentially. I did say Fury in 6. Getting a bit close to round 6. We're round 5 now. Referee wants a quick word before we start. Let's go. He doesn't want people losing their temper in the ring. It's professional boxing. Very good refereeing there. Yeah, they're saying that on the commentary here as well. The fact that Whyte's got Fury angry. When people get angry, they lose that professionalism, don't they? So... Mark, in 6 weeks, are you still going to continue doing That's Football, says James. I'm not going to answer those questions, James. I appreciate the question, but you know I'm not going to answer those questions. It's 5 weeks anyway now. Oh. I think the problem that Fury... Not Fury. I think the problem that Whyte's got here is that Fury's been very proactive on his feet, keeping the distance between the two. He's the bigger man. It makes it harder for Whyte to get in and land punches. Dirty fight so far, but Fury's on top, says Barry. Well, he's got him in the corner here, Whyte, but Fury comes out, lands another punch. Mark is like Palpatine keeping his plans a secret, says Jack. Looks like Fury's up in the pace a little bit here. Round 5. I did say 6. $50. Oh. Fury's starting to pick him off a bit. Might be in a bit of trouble here. He's landed a few. No, Whyte's all right. 30 seconds to go. I think he pops one through the guard there. Starting to tire. You can see it. I've seen this for the last couple of rounds. Said it at the end of the 4th. Whyte looks tired, and he is tiring. And I think Fury just looks like he's got another gear. There we go. Well, if you're like me and you said Fury in 6, this is the next big round, because this is round 6. But, yeah. He don't look... Fury... I mean, obviously you're tired. He's been fighting for 6 rounds. He's tired, but he don't look dazed tired. Whyte looks dazed and tired. And that's dangerous when you're dazed and tired, because that guard is more vulnerable. Yeah, he's getting through Fury. I mean, Whyte's not had a round here. Whyte will KO Fury, says 108. I think he's going to have to. I don't think it's about whether he will. I think if he's going to win this fight, he's going to have to whack him. Which is what we'd all predicted before, to be fair. RS, why did you start YouTube? It's not really the time to be talking about that, RS. We're in a big fight here. Here we go, round 6. This is the one. This is the one I predicted. I know a lot of you predicted round 6 as well. Round 6 of 12, halfway through. Fury's ahead in every round, according to the scorecard of one of the pundits. I would agree. Mika says that Whyte's totally bottled it so far. Yeah, it's hard to see what the game plan is. Because when they've gone to the corner, you can hear his team saying you've got to be more proactive. So maybe he just can't be proactive. Maybe Fury's just making it impossible for him to do it. I do sense that the thing about it as well is even if Whyte catches Fury, I think he'll get up, and that's the thing with Fury, isn't he? He's more than capable. You almost need to put Fury down a couple of times to beat him, and Whyte at the moment just doesn't look close to doing it. He needs that moment. But to be fair, I don't think it's going to be over in round 6. That was my prediction, but it's not been the proactive round from Fury I thought it might be. There's a lot of grabbing hold of each other and just joined, says Joshua. Mark, what do you think of the... Yeah, I'm not reading that, PSY. Yeah, 6 rounds in. Fury's on top. Won every round, not by a lot. Whyte's looking more tired, looking at more and more dazed as it goes on. Just feels like Fury's picking him off, really. Waiting for the mistake to knock him out. I'd be very surprised if Whyte ended up winning this, but... ...30 seconds. I don't think it's going to be a round 6 end. Saturday night, 94,000 at Wembley. Fury against Whyte. It's not really lived up to it yet, but then again, we've had 6 rounds of boxing. I think this round probably... Oh, he's gone! He's gone! Round 6. Who called it? Uppercut. Bang. Round 6. He's going to get up. I don't think he's getting up. No, he's gone. It's over. Round 6. High 5. Who called it? He's just whacked him with an uppercut. His feet are gone. His legs are gone. Round 6. We are doing the Merseyside tomorrow. Fury... Would you rather have... I'm not reading that. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's the sort of thing Whyte needed to do to Fury, and Fury's done it to Whyte. Just picked him up with an uppercut, knocked him down. He tried to get up. You've got to try and get up, haven't you? It's the fight of your life. He gets up, and his legs... The thing is, it's a knockout. You just don't get up from that. If you get put down like that, you don't get up. Because it just came from nowhere. Uppercut. Round Fury in 6. Boom. I want to see the replay of this. Absolute banger. Lifted him. I think he did lift him up Bath as well. It came from absolutely nowhere. Uppercuts are always good, aren't they? A good uppercut on the chin, rock the chin. They've not shown a replay of it yet. But as a fight, it was poor from Whyte. But Blake Kent would knock them both off the feet still. As a fight, it wasn't great from Whyte. He's coming over to speak to Fury now, but He was always the favourite. He was the big favourite. And Whyte had a go, but Fury just dictated the fight, really. Here it goes. Here he goes. He's got him in the middle of the ring. Bang. Oh, right hand. Bang. You don't want to get hit like this. Right hand uppercut. Right through. It's just gone. Gone. Timber. He's down. Look at that. Bang. And then pushes him. Good night, Whyte. Rock of that. And then he gets up. He has a go. He gets up. It's like getting up when you've had 10 pints. I'm fine. I'm fine. Asks him to walk forward, and his legs are gone. Falls into the referee. Game over. Different gravy, says Alpha Gaming. The career this man has been through, be a real shame to see this Don hang up his boots. Globally, he's just bluffing us all, says Chad. Well, I don't think Tyson Fury is going to tell us he's bluffing us all tonight. Apparently, this is going to be his last fight. I'm quite pleased with that. Fury in 6. I said it. I know a lot of you said it as well. But I'm not going to take credit. I've not been out there fighting. I predicted he'd win in 6. But he has said that this will be his last fight. He said this is going to be his last fight. He's going to retire. He ain't going to change his mind tonight. But I don't think it's his last fight. I think he will be back. There'd be no reason for him to change his mind at the moment. Has Fury lost the fight? And where do you rank him, Mark, says Sean. I think where you rank somebody is based on sort of the era that they fight in. I mean, Lennox Lewis, again, it's like, you know, where do you rank him? It's like any sport, isn't it? Somebody who dominates that sport. Think about tennis with Federer, but he's also got Nadal going up against him. It makes it better. Is there anybody as good as Fury at the moment? I don't think so. So of his era, he's been very dominant. AJ's nowhere near Fury, I'm afraid. No. I hoped he was going to be, but he's not. But that's an easy night for Fury, I feel. And I agree with Orb. It's a bit of an easy night's work there. He's dedicated the fight to Lord Jesus Christ. I think ultimately Whyte, well, 88% of you said that Fury was going to win, and it was that sort of a fight, wasn't it? That's what it was all about. It was feel him out for about 5 or 6 rounds, and I said it in the round before. It felt to me like Whyte was getting more and more tired. He was looking more and more dazed. But Fury just seemed to be like waiting for that punch. It was either it could have happened in the 3rd round, it could have happened in the 9th round. He was waiting for that punch, and there it came. The era of heavyweights doesn't do Fury justice. He's the best of his generation. Nobody's beaten him, says Ray Carl Barramore. Let's go Manchester. Gypsy King, a United fan too, quite naturally, says Procure. Fury says, Whyte, I believe he'll be a champion, but tonight he met a great of the sport. AJ next, says Abdi. We're just waiting to see if he's going to say he's retiring. Talked about retirement. Here we go. Well, he's just been asked the question now whether he's walking away. Hold on a minute. Giving a bit of credit to his coach. Just waiting to see. He's been asked the question here. He's talking to his trainer. Biggest puncher in boxing. Is it the end? Come on. He's not. Well, he said after the Wilder fight that was going to be it. And then he was offered Wembley and that brought him back. I think he's going to say that's it. He says that might be it. He says he thinks that might be it. I don't think it will be it. I don't think it will. There we go. Tyson, don't turn your back on the commentator. He's definitely not retiring. Frank Warren saying it's his decision. I want to see him against Usyk at this point. Make AJ look even more silly than he was to beat him to the canvas. Rub the defeat in the wound, says Chad. I don't think it'll be his last one, but you know, with Tyson, he's his own man, isn't he? He said he promised to his wife that it was going to be after Wilder, but the opportunity to come to Wembley and fight, he had to do it. He's done it. That's it. So the thing is as well, what you've got to consider as well, if you are, I'm trying to think of a sport, if you're Pep Guardiola and Man City and you win the treble or whatever, and then the next season Klopp retires, do you go and risk it again, or do you go out on top? It's like who's he got to fight? He's going to give a song. He's going to sing. He's going to sing American Pie. There we go. Well, it's been an interesting fight. I don't think it's been a surprise of a fight, but I do hope that he continues because he is a showman. He's a very good advert for boxing in relation to actual boxing, and I would love to see him continue, but nothing ever lasts forever, does it? So maybe it will be the end, I don't know, but certainly thoroughly enjoyed his career, and I hope that he will continue. We all want Fury versus AJ, but the trouble with AJ is AJ's not much of a difference to fight to Whyte, is it? It's not dissimilar at all in the sense that he's better, and you know you're basically going to fight for money, which a lot of them do anyway, but you're going to fight for money. You're going to fight for the... Fury's a better fighter than AJ. What if he fights him and loses, and then he's got to do it again, and then if you win that, you've got to have a trilogy. So I'd imagine being a boxer, it's about doing it the way you want to do it, fighting the fights that make you a great. And I certainly think if there was a really good heavyweight boxer out there, he wouldn't retire. But he obviously thinks that there isn't. So at the moment, you know, Jay says it was a crap fight. In a sense, I think it was a bit of a crap fight for Fury because it was a straightforward fight against the mandatory contender. Who are you putting your money on in an AJ versus Fury fight, Marcus? Well, I'll do a poll. I know what I think, but I'll start a poll off. Fury, AJ, get in the chat. Be real, because I do like AJ, but for me, Fury every day. I think to win with an uppercut as well is amazing. Uppercut's great as well. Uppercut's great. Well, Fury's got 90% of the vote here as well. I personally thought that AJ Fury a few years ago could be a really good fight on the horizon. Last year it changed for me. I just think Fury, you watch those two fights, AJ against Usyk and Fury against Wilder, and in America, Wilder is dangerous. I mean, for me, what do they call him? The Bronze Bomber. Wilder's punch. We said that Whyte would have to land a big punch to hurt Fury, but always in the back of my head it was, well, wait a minute. So was basically saying that Whyte's best chance is to land a punch on Fury and hurt him, but we know Whyte can't hit as long or as hard as Whyte, and as Wilder. And I've seen Fury hit by Wilder and he's got up. So we're in a fight where people are saying, yeah, Whyte can win it, but he's got to hit Fury. But we've seen Fury hit by Wilder and win still. So I think it's very difficult for anybody. But the shame for me is that if you watch Fury in that fight today, people say it wasn't a great fight, but it was a great fight for Fury. He controlled it and then he waited for the opportunity and he hit him. So Fury for me is probably at the top of his game, and it's a shame because I think he could. I think he can do more. I think he can do a lot more. But I mean, what are we? April. I'd like to see him have another fight this year. I'd like to see him fighting in November, but probably not going to see it. And I like that comment from Abdi. Fury just controls the fight. He's in control of the fight. Even when he gets knocked down by Wilder, he's in control of the fight because he's in control of the mental battle. And that's what's always been really impressive about Fury for me. But yeah, very impressive fight. He says he's going to retire. He says he's going to stand by it. I personally think we'll see him back in the next couple of years. Maybe not back this year, but I think we will see him back. We need to see this AJ Usyk fight again. We don't know when we're going to see it. Nobody said in the chat. I think it's a lot to do with what's going on in Ukraine. But I think if that fight can happen, there may well be a fight after that if Usyk wins. So there we go. And I think this is a fair point from Jurgen Klopp. He says as well, disappointing from Whyte. I expected more, but I guess Fury's too good. And I think that's the best example of what happened tonight. I think people wanted Whyte to offer more up, but ultimately Fury's just too good for him. And that just shows you the level he's fighting at the moment. And Usyk Fury would be good. I'd like to see that, but Usyk's got to beat AJ, and that fight's not happening anytime soon, is it? I don't know when that's going to happen. June, July, says Marvin AM. See, if Usyk fights Joshua in July and beats him, could we get a November fight? Probably not for Fury, but maybe early next year. Interesting. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell about it too long. I enjoyed that. I will be back tomorrow. We've got Formula 1 racing at 2 o'clock on this channel, the Imola Grand Prix. And then we've got the Merseyside Derby, which I think kicks off at... I need to check that, actually. I think it's kicking off at 4 o'clock, but it might be 4:30. In which case, well, we were live. I'm pretty sure it's 4:30, actually. I'm sure I checked it earlier. Sunday, 4:30, Liverpool-Everton. So 2 other big sporting events for us to tune into tomorrow on this channel. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to go and watch a film. It's Saturday night, and I've really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too. I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Have a good day. In the poll, AJ got 10% of the vote. Who would win? Fury got 90% of the vote. So AJ actually got less than Whyte got, who got 12%. So there you go. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me.